I've been enjoying learning about. I still have my laptop. There's a few things I kind of need that for, the Windows laptop. But every time you grab it and open it, you're right there online, and it's does an awful lot of what I want to do. So I think it'd be the answer for a lot of people to see what a Chromebook does and maybe consider that for your next computer. And I know Neil had bought his wife one, and was if he gets here prepared to comment that it's working well for her. And we met Cindi Duesler at the NEOTD technology program at LCC recently, and Carol made contact to see if she could come and talk about something, and she said, well, I can talk about Chromebooks. And she's going to tell us something, I think, about SpaceBound, parent company where she works. I think of old school. I think of them as most significant bits and all.
That's good.
Nothing but software. And then they moved to that was in Avon. Then they moved to, is it LaGrange or Grafton?
LaGrange, yeah.
LaGrange. You know, and Dennis lives out there, and I never remember which is LaGrange, which is Grafton. Once I'm in it, I know which is the city. So let's welcome Cindi. And
Thank you. Like she said, I'm with SpaceBound, and we are a electronics technology store. We sell mostly online, but we also do security services and all. We can pretty much do anything these days. So anything technology related, we can handle it. We work with pretty much every kind of manufacturer that makes technology. We have close relationships with all of them. So we have about 400,000 different titles that we can get. But when I seen that, I reached out to Carol because she actually won one of the door prizes from NEOTD, and Neil also.
yeah,
And she said, "Hey, how about you do a presentation for us on Chromebooks?" And I said, "Okay, I can do that." So I don't know how many of you mentioned that a couple people do have Chromebooks, but I'm fairly new to Chromebooks. I work on computers all day long, obviously, but Chromebooks is something new. And working with it the last few weeks, this is really cool. It does a lot, and they're fast.
Yeah.
Considering, a Windows computer, they're pretty quick. So, but I'll get started. So pretty much everything you need to know. Hopefully, I got everything that you need to know about Chromebooks. So the Chromebook obviously is a laptop of a different breed. It doesn't work with Windows 10, or it doesn't have Windows 10 or a Mac operating system. Chromebooks work on Google's Chrome operating system. So they're designed to be primarily connected to the internet. They work solely basically off of the internet. You have to have a connection. But because everything lives in the cloud. And we have a whole division of our team, our sales team, whoop, there it goes, that works primarily with schools and libraries, education-wise.
That's the cable.
Is it?
Yeah.
Did I touch it? Is it this one?
Yeah, I don't know which one it is, but it's sensitive.
Is it like a...
Just needs a human antenna.
Yeah, it's hanging on
Yeah.
couplers in
You
there.
aluminum.
Coat hanger with the aluminum foil.
Let's try.
I'm showing her age.
But they work really, really well with the kids in the schools and stuff. And a lot of the schools have now adopted that they buy a Chromebook for the students, and then they are able to use those throughout the year. They can take them in and out, sign them out, but a lot of the classrooms have some that stay in the right in the class. But because Chromebooks have gotten so good lately, they are really great for adults also. I'm not great with technology, but this is really simple. Go. So, does everybody know what the cloud is? Okay. So, the cloud, what is it? Where's it at? It's not up in the sky. What it is basically a warehouse in some unknown place. There's hundreds of them all over the world that have nothing but servers in them. And everything that you do on your computers is saved to those servers on the cloud. So, say with your iPhone, you save your pictures to the cloud. You can have you have them on here, but they also back up to the cloud. So you have them out there. If your phone breaks, you can't get into it. You get a new phone. You can log into your cloud and re-download or get to your pictures. So sometimes these servers are stored in a warehouse, like I said. Sometimes they're underground. They basically have them underground. And they call them server farms. And this is kind of an example of what they look like. So the features of a Chromebook are very simple. These Chromebooks, most of them have about 10 hours of battery life. So they last forever. And they're also very economical. You can get a good Chromebook for a very good price. Because these Chromebooks don't require a big processor or a lot of memory because everything is stored in the cloud, it makes it much more economical, and most of them are under 3 pounds.
Under how much?
3 pounds.
Oh, 3 pounds.
So what's the difference between a Chromebook and a regular laptop? Like I mentioned, a laptop is portable, just like a Chromebook, and it's meant to be used on your lap, which isn't a great idea if you read the studies about what cancer-causing agents and stuff like. But they have the same functionality, but a Chromebook works off the Chrome operating system rather than the Windows or Mac OS. But is it right for you? So because it runs on Chrome operating system, Google is the main system that you do everything from. It doesn't run Windows, so you won't be able to install Microsoft Office on this, but you'll be able to get to it if you need to. Like I can get to my Microsoft email from here. I can do this PowerPoint from here because it's all available online. You can still log into your account. If you have an account created, you can log in and do what you need to do from that. But most the Chromebooks are meant for using Google Docs, Google Spreadsheets, all things that are available through their browser. You have easy access to Android apps, so if you have an Android phone, you can sync them. If you have a Google account, you can sync them, so the apps that you have on your phone, you can have on the computer. And although you can log into Chrome OS as a guest, we do recommend that you log in or create an account and log in that way. That way, everything is synced. If you create a document in Google Docs, it'll be synced then to your phone so you can get to it. Any questions so far? I hope I'm not going too fast. It does not. So Chromebooks apps, the apps on Chromebooks are getting better and better. They're making more and more of them available so you can get to or so you can use them on the Chromebooks. They're optimized for the Chrome operating system, like the Gmail and the calendar and Drive and your Android apps. But because they rely heavily on the internet, you do need to have connection. And some apps will work without Wi-Fi, but most of them require it. You'll still be able to play your games, so if you are a Candy Crusher, then you can still log in, or if you logged in, then you can pick up where you left off on your phone, if that's what you But if you needed something that, if you want to play a game like, what's the new game? Fortnite. There you go. If you want to play that, you won't be able to play it unless you, the processors just are not big enough on these.
What about watching a video?
You can watch any, these are some of the apps you can see that are available in the Google Play Store. So you have Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, Pinterest if you like to pin things. You can play music, your Pandora, and this one is iHeart, and then this is Spotify. There's an Amazon app you can do, eBay, OfferUp if anybody's interested in that, and then I think this is Soda Crush, and then Candy Crush, and then Skype.
I think what I was trying to say is, I don't know what any of most of those do. Can you stream something, say, from CBS easily?
You open up the browser and go to CBS.
You go to browser, yeah, you go to a browser and then go to cbs.com and you can stream it that way.
Is there an antivirus for that?
That is coming up, and we'll talk about that, but most of these, the nice thing about Chromes is that because they're Chrome apps, if something tries to make a change to one of the apps, it detects it and it'll fix it and not allow anything through. That doesn't stop you from clicking on a phishing email. Does everybody know what a phishing email is? You know, that kind of stuff. There is an app for like an antivirus. There is, and there is also some extensions which I'll talk about. So there's also the Chrome Web Store. You don't just have the Google Play Store, but there's also a bunch of extensions that Google offers. An extension is basically something that you add to your browser and it does the back end work. So like an antivirus. So like this one is an ad blocker. So if you go on a website that has a lot of pop-ups, they're so annoying. So this will stop those pop-ups. This is LastPass. LastPass is an extension that will house all your passwords. We use this at work. LastPass is very, very well rated and very trustworthy. And then you can add like an Amazon extension, and this is just kind of an idea of what the extensions look like.
One thing you did mention about Hulu and Netflix.
Hulu, Netflix, there is, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't grab those ones. I'm sorry. Yeah, there's Hulu. I know Netflix for sure is on there, and I'm pretty sure Hulu is too.
Why do you need extensions for those? You can't just, I use Hulu and I just browse.
A lot of them are extensions like an antivirus or password store, the ad blocker.
But you don't need one for Hulu, or why would you need one for Netflix?
You would download the app for that.
Wow.
Or you can go to the browser and log in that way.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Can
you don't have to do
Okay.
yeah. You can do anything on this through a browser if you have an account. So
So when I got the icon even on my phone, I just one
Click-
on
yeah,
the
click it.
icon and I'm in.
yeah.
I don't have to log in. I don't have to
Right.
go
You don't have to
to
log
And there may be an extension
Okay, well,
yeah, so
just one click there.
if I could show you once we're done what my browser looks like. I can log in and do that, but it's basically a one click. So you can just go click on the button, it'll take you right there. And same with the apps. The apps actually puts it down in the bar. Durability. These are very durable. I mean, you don't want to throw it off a building, obviously, but they're built to withstand kids using it, adults using it. I mean, I almost dropped it getting out of my car.
They don't have hard drives.
I'm sorry?
They don't have hard drives, right?
They don't. They have processors and they have memory pretty much, and that's it.
Well, they also have storage.
Well, storage, memory,
But it's digital storage.
Digital. in the cloud, right?
No, not in the cloud, they have local storage.
Just so
Yes,
we-
you can save, you can save
But
files.
My point is, it's like an SSD, it's
Yeah.
solid state.
Right.
So there's no spinning things, like, and that adds to the durability, because it's not something to break.
Right. But they also make a lot of different cases for it to make it even more stable. They have this rugged cases here. This one, some of them are water resistant. I don't know that I would recommend pouring a cup of water on it, but you know, it's just for example. And then these types here that basically it's like a briefcase, and you just open it up. You don't even have to take it out of the case.
Question. It's always speaking of the cloud, but are you paying to rent the cloud to keep storage there, or how much does each Chromebook come with a specific server, its own cloud?
I'm not exactly sure on that. That's a good question. It's a really good question.
Google comes with 15 gigs.
15, is
So,
it?
I think it's 15 gigs
Yeah.
on your account, so, you know, when you sign up for Google, if you don't have an account already, or if you wanna create a new account, you get the,
15,
a brand new
Yeah.
15 gig.
which is quite a bit. I mean, unless you're gonna have hundreds and hundreds of pictures.
And I think your pictures, if they come through
If you
Google
use the,
Photos, it
right.
doesn't count.
no, it doesn't
Google
count,
Photos does not.
because if you pick their, resolution or whatever they call it,
I actually have Google Photos on my iPhone because Apple doesn't give me much cloud storage. So, and it's a backup to my backup.
Yeah.
Don't want to lose my pictures. There it goes. So what kind of specs do you need? Most Chromebooks fall between 11 and 15 inches. This is a 14-inch to give you an idea. It's good size. Even with my blind eyes, I can see this really well. Like I said, they usually weigh about 3 pounds or less, depending on the size. But you got to remember the size of the screen is not the only thing you ought to. If you want something with sharper images, then you're going to have to go with a full HD display, which will cost you a little bit more. But the screens on most of these are really good. They're meant primarily for the online use. The specs aren't as important as if you were going out and buying a Windows laptop, because you basically just are paying attention to the memory size and your drive size, your thank you. But if you're going to be doing something that is more taxing, having a lot of windows open or a lot of tabs open, I shouldn't say windows, tabs open, you'll want to go with something that has more RAM than just going with a normal 2 or 4 gig, which is the typical size of these. Also, the processor isn't going to determine how smoothly your Chromebook performs. But like I said, if you're going to have multiple tabs open, you're gonna need something a little bit more. The Chromebooks now are coming out with AMD dual core processors, which is nice. It makes them we've had this thing for almost 5 years, and it runs like it's brand new.
there you go.
And again, they're so light that you don't need so much storage. So security, we talked a little bit about that, but Chrome does look to see if any of the apps that you have installed have been touched or something's been altered in them. And when it does detect that, it will want to update. It's not like a Windows update where it says, you need to update right now. It's not like that. It basically gives you the notice saying, you need to restart soon. And when you do, it will update everything back to its original way, so that way you don't have anything malicious going on if somebody tries to hack into you. And this is kind of an example of what the start menu looks like on a Chrome. like I said, the Chrome closes off most traditional entry points for malware. You can't install traditional programs, so it's locked or sandboxed in the area of memory, and when it's rebooted, it'll verify that the software hasn't been tampered. But you can install security software to protect your emails and such. Think it went. Okay, so are they real computers? Some people think Chromebooks are not real computers because they can only do things if you're on the internet. You can do so much. Like I said, I can log in and work from here, and we run everything on Windows at work. As long as you can get to it to the program that you need from the internet, then you can do it. But if you want to be, like Windows where it runs programs or apps, then you're a little bit more refined. But they're always adding new apps now. Obviously, you can't run proprietary programs like iTunes. That's Apple. But otherwise, you could pretty much do anything.
Are the new apps expensive?
No, they're free. Most of them are free. There are some that you pay for, but there's a lot that you can that are free.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. So no matter what you install, Chromebooks continues to purr along. Everything is sandboxed, so insecure. While Windows machines start to bloat and crawl, the more programs you install and the more you use the machine. And like I said, this one is almost 5 years old, and it runs like it's brand new.
Does the battery still hold up
Yes.
after 5 years? Because sometimes you worry that.
Yeah. I mean, you want to drain it just like with any other electronic. Drain it before you charge it. But I plugged this in at work today. It was half maybe. I just wanted to die tonight, and it was charged within 30 minutes completely. So it charges quickly also.
So are there icons, whatever apps already on it, say for a Word-like program, for a PowerPoint-like program, or do you have to
There
go find
is.
those? Okay.
No, Chrome does offer,
They steer you towards the Google
Yeah.
version.
the Google version.
Yeah, they're
You can convert like a PowerPoint into the Google version of it. Because they're two different programs, the coloring and stuff
Formatting and
aren't
stuff.
good. But they have an Excel program that they use, that's very similar to Excel, and they also have a Word program that is.
Can you skip
Docs.
the Google program and go to a free online available download program? Or say called Write, for example. That's a Word compatible type program.
I'd have to check. I don't know for sure on that one.
Neil might know because he's
Well,
looking into
they
that.
have applications like Kingsoft.
Right, that's what I'm talking
makes
about.
Office
Yeah.
Yeah, because
for
Kingsoft,
Android, so.
you can bring up a Word document and all but maybe 1% of it will be precisely the same. You have
You
to
can
treat it.
still put Kingsoft on the Chrome.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not real familiar with like the Apple or Androids because I do have an Apple one, but I like both. Any other questions? No? So final thoughts. Chromebooks are pretty easy to use. I think they're simple, especially if you're familiar with the Chrome browser. Almost all the Chrome operating systems or programs are extensions for the browser, and then the Google Play. But you can get to them all from your Google account. They're affordable and offer decent performance. And if you're looking for a simple way to get online and you prefer Google search services, then Chromebook would be great for you. But overall, if you're buying the Chromebook for somebody else, you want to make sure that you check with that person to see what they need to use it for. Obviously, if they need to run, if it has to be Office, and they don't have available to log in Office 365, which is the online version, then it may not work so well.
It's not her favorite.
Oh.
365.
No, it's not, especially with Outlook, because the way we use it anyways at work, we have multiple accounts that we use, so you can only basically have your main account.
Do I have to buy a Chromebook if I wanna use the Chrome OS on my regular laptop? Or my
You
computer?
won't be able to use,
The
you
Chrome
can use the
browser.
Chrome browser and log
You
in
can-
that
you can-
way.
You can install Chrome OS, on a laptop.
On a Windows
A
laptop.
a former Windows laptop, yes, you can install, the Chrome OS is available for installation
Is it
on,
on a Windows
Computers.
system or
Yeah.
just on a computer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Would that
Well,
be,
Does it do it as a second?
phone.
I'm sorry, because I'm not familiar with that. But does it do it as a like a second operating system where you could go back and forth
You
between
might
the
be able
two?
to do that, I don't know anybody who's done that, but, you know,
Put it on a USB.
no, you actually install it as the operating system.
If you have an old computer, you're
Yeah,
supposed to be
yeah,
able
yeah.
to like
Usually
take it
you
away
have-
from XP and
Right,
make it a.
a
That's
laptop
interesting.
that doesn't, handle the newer versions of Windows because it's under spec, that would be a good candidate to put the Chrome OS on.
okay.
Don't know about the browser, I'm talking about the
Well, the
operating.
browser is.
The
is
browser
Chrome.
you can
the
you
same-
can
same
use the browser anywhere.
Right, the
Yeah, a lot of
browser
people
is the
use that
same
already.
Chrome that you use on a desktop or a laptop.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Chrome browser.
It's the alternative to Internet Explorer
Or
Yeah, right,
Mozilla
okay.
Firefox.
Right.
Yeah.
hmm I actually use both of them. I go back and forth
Yeah.
depending on because
No,
I
it's
work
free.
primarily with the government, but with to federal customers and a lot of the government's programs that they use will only work with Explorer, unfortunately.
Oh,
And under Internet Explorer is changing their
Oh, yeah.
structure. They're going with the
Yeah, well,
Chrome background.
the government is finally getting smart and they're moving things over to Chrome. So
Funny.
Well, what's the IRS doing, if anything? They're still using floppies.
Probably.
They are.
Probably.
We're not talking
I
about
haven't-
what they're doing, we're talking about how we access it.
How is it, you say that that all this information is stored in these servers in big warehouses underground? With all these crazy people out there that are hacking, aren't they able to hack into these servers?
I would hope not, but they use the best of the best of the best security. So the chances are very slim. And these days, the software that is available for protection is so good, and they pick up things so quick. So if somebody tries to get into something, the software will stop it and it'll segregate that. So it'll basically shut it down and then figure out what it
With
is.
some of these big companies, you see in the news all the time, some of these big companies, they're being held for ransomware. I mean,
Ransomware is huge
well,
right
what,
now.
well, what kind of security do they have? Their
Well,
security
that's-
must be
that's an
terrible.
I mean,
individual, though.
no matter
That's not an individual, those are like counties and hospitals.
Right, but I
and
mean,
the entities that don't spend the money on security.
exactly,
like,
they
like
need to
Google
spend.
and
Yeah, their
Apple.
whole company
Right, the
would
server,
fall apart if we
the companies that have the server farms are going to
This
spend
goes $1 billion.
the money on the security.
Right.
Do they have unknown locations? I'm thinking more likely to be blown up than to be hacked.
They are.
Some of them are
They don't
underground.
advertise when they're,
Right.
and there are some that are underground too.
But they
Depends on who they're, who's using their cloud. So if it's the government, let's say, if it's the government, it's most likely to be underground where nobody knows where it is.
Okay, if say I had this thing, would my cloud be all on one server?
No.
Probably not.
No.
No, it's distributed
It's
to
all over the
multiple,
place.
it's replicated to many sites.
Okay,
It's not in one place.
Right.
okay. So they blow up the one in Bangladesh, I'm good.
You're good.
Okay.
So I thought, oh, it's not gonna run.
Oh,
It's a YouTube video.
It's
really
and it's not, oh,
Because I have it on a flash drive. But basically, this was a YouTube video explaining about using Windows and the errors and reboot now and the blue screen of death and I thought it was really cute, but
Could you, probably couldn't project it from somebody's phone if they,
Do you use that when you're logging to the internet? Cindy, you want to get on the internet so she can put it up?
The one I just created,
Yeah.
it was with my email address and
if I just use my data and find it on my phone.
It had a password.
I gave him, I didn't write it down.
Oh.
let me see if I can
Go
get
across security here.
I'll look for it. I could probably play it from my phone. It's okay. But that's pretty much all I have. Is there any questions? It does not want to go.
Does your store deal with different makes? Have you
Yes.
experience with different brands?
Yes. This laptop that I have here with me tonight, or laptop, sorry, Chromebook that I have with me tonight is an HP. HP is, the most popular. And, but Samsung is coming up in the ranks, so is Acer, Asus. They're all making,
Did you
really
say
nice.
Acer? Or did-
Asus or
Acer.
Acer? I think they both
Yeah.
do.
Acer has them too.
Okay,
Acer.
okay, yeah.
But a lot of the schools are really interested in these now too.
What's the average price for one? 200, 300?
It depends on what size processor you have. So what I've done is I worked out a bundle deal that I could do for you guys. So basically, I have two different HP Chromebooks that are two different sizes. One is a 14-inch 4 gig, 16 gigs SSD, or a 4 gig, 32 gig SSD. So the AMD, this one is the AMD processor, but it is basically you get the computer and then you get choices from down here. And it's a special deal for you guys. If you're interested, fine. If not, then don't worry about it. This is something that I wanted to do for you guys. We've been working with UG for a long time. Several faces here I remember from years ago. Would you say 5 years ago was the last time you were in? Something
Yeah, you
like
used
that.
to drive out and get orders for us.
Yeah.
So when I seen you guys at the NEOTD event early April, I was like, man, we haven't talked to them in forever. So I was glad to see that there was a couple door prizes won and such.
You still have in your, excuse me, in your store, like odds and end items like we used to.
We have a little bit of everything.
Everything, yeah.
Yes.
I like the name you, it used to be nothing but software.
Yes.
It's almost the
When
antithesis.
software, obviously software is not
No.
anymore. Basically, everything's an app. So we did change our site name over to Nothing But Savings. That was probably close to 10 years ago or so. But we also sell out on marketplaces, Amazon, Walmart, all that. So we're pretty much everywhere these days.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Under your SpaceBound name or what?
We're on Amazon as SpaceBound.
Oh.
Mhm. So if you're going and buying something on Amazon, electronic, technology, give me a call first because I can definitely get it to you easier, cheaper. Because when you buy things on the marketplaces, there's a markup
Yeah.
because the seller pays fees to that marketplace. So if you were to come directly to us, there's not going to be nearly as high a markup as it would be on those marketplaces.
Do you mind if we don't have to pay shipping if we come and pick it up? Is that still an option?
It is, as long as you let us know
Let you know ahead
when you
to
place
expect
the
you.
order. Either call me or if you can put a note on the order and when you do it online too, and then we'll stop it. Now, granted, because we have 400,000 titles, everything's not in our warehouse. We do use a few distributors all over the country, so I can always check and see if it's in what warehouse it's in, because those ones we would have to ship to you. But we offer free budget shipping, so.
Where are you located again now?
We're in LaGrange.
LaGrange.
Where's that
So,
South.
at? I mean, I've heard, but I don't know where actually
Yeah, it's south of Elyria.
south of Elyria.
It's on 301, isn't it?
Yes, we're right off of 301.
There's
Anybody
a turnaround,
A roundabout.
roundabout? Yeah, we're on the same
Well,
street
there's
as
a
the.
roundabout in North Ridgeville.
You're doing
That's
it.
in Avon.
Yeah.
Well, it's half Avon, half North Ridgeville.
Is that what you're talking about?
No,
Nope,
it's
Oh.
further south.
they had
the one on
theirs
301.
first.
Yeah, they picked up on it a long time ago.
I go through that one too every single day, twice a day, because I live in Avon.
Oh, okay.
Then why did you move to LaGrange?
she didn't, the company did.
The company did.
Okay, yeah.
We outgrew the building in Avon
Oh, clearly.
very quickly.
And what's wrong with LaGrange Road?
That's where he
It's
is.
just a little
So
too far away.
It's getting there.
All my life,
It's
seriously.
cute. It's
Cute.
it's cute. I mean, I don't mind it. It's about a
Yeah,
25-minute drive for me every day, so it's not awful. It could be worse, and I'm going against the traffic, not with the traffic, so it's not too bad. It helps. Yeah.
So what is your geez, I can't think of-
Website?
yeah, what is SpaceBound dot some?
SpaceBound is the parent company that, and then we have divisions underneath that. So we have Nothing But Savings, which is our main retail site. We also have a wholesale site for companies to buy bulk from us. And then we have Price Plunge, which is our daily retail site, or daily special site. So it's an offer a day, basically. It changes every day. And then we also have
So if you wanted to visit the webpage, where would you go?
Nothing But Savings. That's your best bet.
And then you can also sign up for the Price Plunge daily
Price
email,
Plunge, you can
Okay.
get the daily emails, yes.
but through
And there's
Nothing But
also
Savings.
an email that we send out twice a week for Nothing But Savings that has special deals on it too.
That's just today.
NothingbutSavings.com.
NothingButSavings.com.
Okay.
We also have Spacebound Solutions, which is our GovEd site. That we use mostly for the schools and libraries and government and all that. But you can buy retail on there too. Any other questions?
You didn't tell us the price on your sheet.
I'll give you one of these.
Oh, you wanna give them? Oh, you gonna give them out?
Yeah, I'll give you. I have a bunch of them. I'll pass them out. I did bring a couple of samples of the bags and stuff that are offered. So you can touch on, feel them. We can run the. If I can get in the internet, we can run the video that I have.
Maybe you can just go to
I'll probably
YouTube
just
on your
go to
computer.
I don't remember what it was called though.
These are pretty reasonable.
YouTube, Chromebook comparison.
I don't remember what the video was called.
Well, Google it.
Compared to going out and buying a regular laptop, these are pretty, it's a pretty good price.
Anybody want?
Yeah, it's pretty.
Are we passing these around? Is that the notion?
Well, she's passing on.
$300.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, I paid $600 for my laptop, so.
And the thing right
And
there.
the bundle is you get a
It's down.
mouse,
It's down.
the lock, and a choice of one of the bags that are at the bottom.
He's passing.
No, it's or
Yeah, it looks like a Chromebook.
it's not corded. That's a cable lock.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, okay. Cable lock, mouse,
yeah.
okay.
Oh, choose between.
Yes, you can choose between. Which one to get to?
Thank you.
I did bring some goodies too.
Are either of these touchscreen? I know some of them are.
These are not touchscreen. Those are not. And this one is very similar to the higher one on the right. So this is an older model of it, but it's very similar. And I think this is, yes, it is the same color. It's white, like this.
Mine is a Lenovo and it's white and I don't like white. I was putting stickers on it or something.
I have access to anything, any kind though. I can get, if there's something
Oh.
else that you've seen that you like better, then I can
So I
look
can
and
always
see.
check with you.
Mhm. And this was, HP was the most popular, so I figured I would try that one.
The A and B,
you mean Hewlett Packard?
HP. They don't go by Hewlett Packard too much anymore.
Well, it's just, they don't manufacture, Google doesn't manufacture it, it's not made by Google, it's made by.
so where?
It's an HP manufactured item with Google Chrome on it.
Gotcha.
Is this a link you say?
Yeah.
Where do we go in here to find the link? Because we could just go there, if you copy the link.
Oops, that was big. Oh, jeez.
Media.
Everything is there except.
I see if we can see the properties and see what the hyperlink is, we can just use Chrome to get to it.
Yeah.
But I don't see the,
Is your Chrome open?
yeah, down there. Just want to go to YouTube and.
We can show where the links deal and I put together.
You don't have the internet connected.
What? Just said that was on.
Oh, maybe because I used that one.
You have done, no, that's okay.
Okay.
Go ahead and-
I typed over it, that's why I
That's
used that
all
same tab.
right.
No,
Should
see,
be.
yeah, it doesn't like it. Maybe it doesn't like.
Go back to
Do they
the
block
success
YouTube
one.
for the students?
I wonder-
You know what?
I bet they're
That
blocked.
might be. That might be. Go somewhere else. See if you go to your site. And that way you can show that. There we go. Oh, what about that?
It's
Okay. Again? Just shoot. I just.
And then you have to go downstairs and sign in again.
Oh, I just did that.
We're gonna make it go through all this. Do you think the school and between the school and the college, they did this,
Cracks together.
I'm being naive.
There's a war zone now.
I know.
They don't want the students doing anything they shouldn't.
Well, that's only part of it.
Well, it may not have been signed on for sure. I mean, it said it was, but I'll do it again. Authentication failed.
Ah!
Doesn't like me anymore.
Yeah, it won't let me even go to office.
Well, it says the authentication failed, so. Huh.
Should have brought a hotspot.
Yeah. Well, let's try. Oh, shoot. Yeah, it's not liking me. And you don't remember what yours is, do you?
I used my Sandy home email, but I don't know.
Yeah, let's try. Let's see if we
Password they gave me.
still wants this one.
Can we?
I'm listening.
I got it.
You got it?
I think so.
Yeah, but yours doesn't have HDMI. We can't show it.
I can run it, turn it around.
Can you bring it up on Sandy's? You're on, right? You got the web address? You got the URL? Bring your laptop up here, or your Chromebook.
Let me see if I'm on. Connected as a guest, radio signal. One thing we found that the,
Can everybody see this?
Well, let's do it on here.
I think he's got it, so.
If you can give me the,
URL.
where is the cursor?
Just
Up there
give
it
me
is.
in Chrome and I'll log in.
There we go.
Mickey,
Yes.
back here, he's been logged in since we got here, we tried to go YouTube.
YouTube's blocked here, so they must block it.
It showed like it was gonna play though. Let's try. Actually, let me see.
No source HDMI1.
I was saying,
Why are we having trouble again?
as you tried to play YouTube, they cut you off.
No, that's not it, that's the camera, or that's the display, that's not the internet.
It's okay, it's not gonna play.
Oh, it didn't play, okay,
No, it's just spinning.
okay.
It just buffers.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
This is probably to keep the kids from disrupting.
Probably.
Do you want to dance along the other song?
Can you cast it on your phone?
So why are you,
We do that.
oh well.
Serious error has occurred. Serious error has
Oh,
serious error.
Blue screen it up.
Blue screen.
With music.
I thought it was cute because it basically explains Windows in a nutshell.
Like overdrive.
All right, I do have a couple of goodies for you guys, so stop up and see me. And but I have some power packs for you guys, which is nice for phones if it was to die. Sorry.